Welcome to our Vault Shorts. These are shorter episodes highlighting programs and resources here in our Billings community.
The following is a Big Sky Economic Development production.
It's Mars B.
And Kavo.
And this is The Vault at 201 North Broadway.
A business podcast.
Where we bring you entrepreneurs, small business owners, and community leaders of Montana.
To share their stories, expertise, industry insights, and strategies.
And we are sharing them all with you every single week.
You don't want to miss this.
Learn how to better start, manage, and grow your business.
And your leadership style.
Tangible takeaways to save you time and improve whatever it is that you're working on.
You're listening to The Vault.
Hi, this is Shannon Hahn with the Department of Transportation and the Small Business Program. I'm here to talk to you today about the DBE and the SBE programs. The DBE program is for disadvantaged small businesses, so that's minority and women, and the SBE program is for non-minority and non-women-owned businesses. These programs provide business assistance to contribute to the growth and self-sufficiency of businesses in the transportation industry. Services include business skills development, training, networking opportunities, bonding assistance, and much, much more. So if you're a highway-related business, please go to our website. You'll see what the eligibility criteria is at mdt.mt.gov. You can call our 1-800 number, which is 800-883-5811. So give us a call. Thanks.
Today we have joining us Shannon Hahn with the Montana Department of Transportation. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We're excited to have you in Billings.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm sure our listeners are wondering, why the Montana Department of Transportation? What brings you on a business podcast?
So the Department of Transportation has a small business program, which a lot of people are not aware of. And we have a DBE program, which is Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. And we have an SBE program, and it's a small business program, Small Business Enterprise Program.
So just jumping right in, I'm curious because I would know we've seen you at different events and things like that for MEDA, economic development things. But this is in Montana. Let's just dive into the DBE program a little bit. Like, how's that staffed? What does that look like? How do people connect with you guys? Why would they reach out to you? All of those details.
Oh, great. So the DBE program is United States-wide. It's in all 50 states. And it started back in the 1980s.
Oh, wow.
And they created the program because they looked at where all the money was going through for the Department of Transportation, and they saw that it was all going to large prime contractors. And so they wanted to diversify it, so they created the DBE program. DBE program is for minority and women-owned businesses. So there's a couple criteria with the program. One is that you have to be 51% owner. 2, you have to be in control of the day-to-day activities. 3, you cannot have a personal net worth of over $2.047 million.
So specific.
Yeah. And that excludes your primary residence and your retirement accounts and also the equity in your business. So most small businesses don't have a problem qualifying for that.
Mm-hmm. And what would, if they're reaching out, what assistance are they getting from this program?
Good question. So what we do is, number one, we're the only small business directory in the state. So if you're as a small business and you want to be recognized as a woman-owned business or a minority-owned business, then we're the only place to get certified for that. The certification is about 14 pages, which always scares people off. So that's horrifying for them, but it's pretty basic. I mean, you can be a new business or an existing business or whatnot. You have to fill out an application, and then we go through a process where we go and visit you to make sure that you're legit. Mm-hmm. And then we ask you a set of questions. So, for instance, if the business is in the woman's name, the wife's name, then we go and meet with the wife, and that usually includes the husband. And we ask the wife specific questions to know if she's really actually in charge. You know, if she's really
Because it
what they're
becomes that
saying.
51% ownership and actively working in the business day to day.
Right.
And I think what a lot of people do is, which isn't a bad thing, is to have, the wife be 51% ownership, but then the husband's doing everything.
Correct.
And she might come in occasionally or handle social media or something, but she's not, handling bookkeeping or, things like that.
Correct. So that's how, by the questions that we ask, we're not saying that if they have a fencing company, she has to go out there and be digging the holes, but she has to be in charge, meaning that she has to know what's going on with the business. So this is a federally mandated program. So if you don't have a DBE program in your state, then you don't get the federal funds. So this year we got $587 million
Oh,
Wow.
for just the, state of Montana. So you can imagine like what California and those guys get. So it's huge. And the program has goals. So we have a goal of 6.65, which means every one of our projects that go out from MDT, then they have to have that goal on those projects. So it becomes a little bit of a fight sometimes with the prime, because in my eyes, that's like telling you which dentist you should go and see.
Yeah.
We're telling you have to use these people, whether you want to or not. And a lot of contractors have people that they know and they just go to and use them all the time.
Yeah.
Like
So-
subs.
Yeah. And we're forcing them to use subs that they've never worked with before. And just because you're certified doesn't mean you're a great business. It just means that you passed all our checks and balances.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You got the mark.
Right.
So with the minority owned, is that too like the 51%?
Yes.
So,
Right.
okay, cool.
Right.
So we're talking about these disadvantaged business enterprise programs and the small business enterprise program. What typically would a business look like that this would benefit for? So when we're talking about MDT, Montana Department of Transportation, how does that relate in?
So typically, we would certify anybody that was a small business that wanted to be certified. Now we're getting a little stricter. So the rules have just changed effective May 9th.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Just
Yeah.
recent.
So
Super
it used to
recent.
be $1.37 million. Now it just jumped up to 2.064. So the criteria is we want you to be highway related. Now that doesn't mean that you ever have had to work on a highway project or done any work with MDT, but you have to be ready, willing, and able. So you can be an electrical company, a plumbing company, a heating company, because we also do work at the airports. We, build buildings, all that kind of stuff, rest stops, all that kind of stuff. So if you're highway related, you get a couple little carrots that are dangled in front of you. One, we have a reimbursement program of $3,500. So they can get reimbursed for bonding. They can get reimbursed for training. So let's say that it was a sand and gravel company and they wanted to go down to Concrete World in Vegas. We pay for their flights down there. We pay for their hotel, that kind of stuff. Training, any kind of certifications that they have to have or professional licenses we pay for.
Wow.
We pay for their dues for Montana Contractors Association because they're trying to get more small businesses involved in the MCA, Montana Contractors Association, because it used to be networking was totally different.
Yeah.
Everybody would meet at MDT and we had this big, massive auditoriums, and that's kind of where everybody rubbed the elbows together. Well, since that's all changed, most of the small businesses can't afford to be in the Montana Contractors Association because it's based on your net worth. And so the first bill that we got when we decided to start paying MCA dues was $12,700, and we paid it in full,
Wow.
minusing the lobbying fees because we can't pay that. And then we also will pay for a website for them. We'll pay for one-on-one training. So if you had problems with, let's say, advertising or something like that, and you wanted to meet with a marketer, we'd pay for that. So there's some advantages being highway related. If you're not highway related, you don't get any of that stuff.
But those are advantages. And wow, Yeah.
But you do, so to also say this, if you're a women-owned business or a minority-owned business, you can get the certification because especially if you're going to be a carrier at a vendor at the airports,
Correct.
That's a helpful thing to have.
That is. And that's an ACDBE. And that's an airport concessionaire disadvantaged business enterprise. Isn't that a mouthful?
It is. Acronym city. So can you talk a little bit more too about like highway related? Just if someone is listening and they're like I own a fencing company, but I don't know if that's like, can you talk to us about highway related and what that really fully means?
So there's a slew of highway related, which a lot of people don't understand. So like, for instance, businesses that do PR, because we have to put a lot of PR out there, like when we're tearing down Main Street in Miles City or something like that. There's got to be a lot of PR. So they would be highway related because they're going out and doing our PR work. So I always tell everybody, think out of the box. And if you have any questions about whether you're highway related or not, call us, because it's anything and everything that could do with the highway. I do have some stupid people out there that would call and say, oh yeah, I'm highway related. And I go, oh, what do you do? And they go, well, we own a restaurant. I go, okay. And they go, it's right on the highway. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make you highway related. That doesn't make you highway related.
We mean like work highway.
Yeah,
related.
work highway.
Yeah.
So it's anything with bridges, streams, reclamation, anything to do with water, all kinds of stuff. It's a wide pool. And then we also have engineering, pre-construction, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff, and that's across the state of Montana.
Yeah.
How about landscaping?
Yep.
Yeah, that's highway.
Because we have to landscape. We've seen our beautiful medians,
Yes,
haven't you?
I have.
And all the trash.
I'm throwing stuff out there so people know. Weed control.
Weed
you
control.
can think like I said, think outside the box. Like
Think outside the box.
We're
Exactly.
just saying. So anything that you could do. We also say that with our federal contract, our Apex Accelerator. You never know what they need.
Right.
And so it's always just a good opportunity to just have the conversation. So, and then you guys can talk to them about, yeah, you do qualify. No, you don't really fit into the box. But
we always tell them to give us a call before they fill out that 14-page application. Because that usually scares most people away.
And so do they submit that online then? And then where does it go?
So it's submitted in a secure file online because they have to give us 3 years of taxes. So everything's, in the box. Secure. Yeah, and they submit it to online. There are 3 of us in the program. One gal does the certifications for it. And so she reviews all your taxes and see if you qualify, blah, blah, blah. I'm supportive services part of it. So I do the trainings.
Shannon's the face.
I'm like the social media part of it. And then we have to do recertifications every 3 years. So this is a federally funded program. So everything,
It's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah. So you have to go through a lot of hoops, jump through a lot of hoops. Yeah.
And you guys are there to help people do that. Right.
And what we always do is we have been partners with Apex and the SBDC, Small Business Development Center. And I don't have any idea what Apex means, and they don't either. So it used to be PTAC, Procurement Technical Assistance Center.
Yep.
We all knew what that meant. Nobody knows what Apex means. So what we do is we set them up wherever they're at with one of those locations so that they get into the SAM. And then they also, if they need to write a business plan or if they need to have financial help or with their spreadsheets or anything like that. So we co-partner with those guys and provide training for that too. So
that's really cool.
They're a really amazing partner for us. They've even gone as far as to sponsor workshops in order for us to be able to offer them at a discounted rate to our clients, even for businesses outside of the highway-related industries. But the highway-related industries would get in for free due to that sponsorship. So they're just great sponsors for us.
Yeah, no, that's really great.
We keep talking about DBE, SBE. What's the difference between the two programs?
So the SBE program, every time I go out And if it's an all-male audience, they're like, well, what about us poor white males? What about us? There's nothing out there for us. We're the disadvantaged ones now with the women taking over. So anyways, they created the SBE program. So the SBE program is basically for the white guy. And so they can be 50-50 with their wife. They can be 100% owned, 100% male owned.
Oh, so there's not a 51% ownership on that one.
No.
Okay.
So this is, and it duplicates the DBE program. It's exactly the same, except for these funds come from the state. And so our state pays for these fundings. You know, if I'm traveling with 811, that's mostly white males that are in that industry. And so I do a coding to the state projects instead of the federal projects. So it's exactly the same. It mirrors the DBE program, other than you can be 100% male-owned, white male-owned.
Was that started at the same time as the DBE program?
Oh, heaven's sakes, no. That just started about 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, interesting.
And
does every state have it?
No.
Okay.
No. And here's the funny thing about it, too, is so I've been traveling with 811 Call Before You Dig. That's what 811 is, for about 10 years. And this is where I get all this, backflap about women this, women that. So we get this program going, and I'm like, I'm so excited to come and tell all these men. And in these rooms that I'm doing this at, like when we're here in Billings, there's 150 people, 150 male people. And guess how many people are certified in the program now?
10.
8.
I was going to say 5, but
Yeah, because it's like they're afraid to do the paperwork. I don't get it, but it's not, the SBE program's not widely known. It's not widely marketed. I feel the same way about both programs. I think that if they were marketed more, we'd have more subcontractors in the program. But
Well, because it is a really great benefit for these business owners, because there's a certain percentage that you have to hit each year.
correct.
Can you talk more about that?
So you have to hit this certain percentage. So way back when, in the 1980s, back in the golden days, that's when I graduated from high school. You weren't even born, Kayla. So what they did is when they created the DBE program, they put a 10% goal across the United States. To every state, it was a 10% goal. And the state of Washington, a small business out there, said, you don't know our state. I mean, this came from Washington, D.C. So somebody took them to court, and they took it all the way up to the Supreme Court, and they won. So the states in the western United States in region, we have to do a disparity study every 3 to 5 years. We have to do a disparity study. So we pay millions of dollars to have somebody come in and tell us what our disparity is. And that's how they came up with the 6.65.
so that's other
That's
states
just
have
ours.
yeah.
That's just Montana. So all the other western states have to do it too, but other ones of them have higher goals, like California and whatnot. They'll have like a 21% because they're disparity. I mean, most of ours come from Native Americans in Montana. Same thing like when you go to Alaska or Hawaii. I mean, you have the same.
Pacific Islanders. And
Right, exactly.
And then the East Coast is just different.
Yeah, they're just weird. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm from there, and I'm pretty weird.
It's just different. Just different.
Yeah, every state is different. Yeah.
And so you talked about that it's like every 3 years. Is it then you have to like kick back and start over with the application, or is there
No.
it's just a kind
Just
of like
the
a
study for the percentage.
No, for the people that are doing it.
Oh,
so
for
I'm
the
bringing
renewal.
us back to the
Okay.
renewal of the,
Then renewal is called a renewal.
but it's
Weird.
easy. It's
But yeah, all they have to do is they sign a statement, notarized statement saying that they are not over now the 2.047, saying that, and then we come and do an on-site to make sure that they're actually still in business.
Is that renewed yearly or
Every 3 years.
Every 3 years. Okay.
Correct. Every 3 years, right.
Do you find that you have a lot of DBE businesses and SBE businesses that are in more rural counties or in the larger cities in Montana?
Probably in the larger city, in the Fab Fives. That's where you guys are located. I mean, you're not out in rural America. There's no SBDC or anything like that.
We just travel there from here.
Yeah. And then, of course, too, when you're up on the High Line, I mean, most of those people are ag.
Yep.
So we have very few DBEs up there. Why? Because I don't think that the program is very well known. We're just trying to get the word out more and more every year and do a little bit more advertising here and there. And
if you could wave a magic wand, how would you get the word out with it?
Oh, I'd have billboards up. I would be blasting it on the radio. I mean, it'd be on every social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Tinder. No, I'm just no.
Instagram.
I mean, I would just splash it everywhere. And yeah, that's what I would do.
Well,
if it was my choice.
Yeah. So
we can help with the podcast platforms.
Yeah, definitely. So what are some bigger projects that you guys have in the works right now in Montana?
Oh, well, we have huge projects. So recently, the federal government gave a huge amount of money to upgrade all the airports in Montana. You know how many airports are in Montana?
A lot.
You've asked me this so many times, but I'm going to say 27.
More.
67. 67! Ah!
I know that's what you meant to say.
Yes.
Because, I mean, a lot of the little counties have them. And then if you think of like Yellowstone County, it's like us. And then you think of the littler towns
Laurel
inside.
has an airport.
Right. So the feds swooped in and they gave them astronomical amount of money, each one of them, right? But for the first time that I've ever been seen anything in government, state government, I've been there 30 years, is they actually made them do a spreadsheet, a projection for the next 3 years. So 24, 25, and 26. And they have to say what the project is. It could be a runway repaving. It could be a terminal. It could be snow removal machines. It could be fencing, wildlife fencing. It can be all kinds of different stuff. And what we did is we put together a spreadsheet of each and every airport, a big Excel spreadsheet, what the project is, how much it's for, and then we put DBE goals on it.
Oh, wow.
So now they have to meet those DBE goals on those airport jobs. So that opened up a ton of business for.
Wow.
We have one small business that's an electrical company, a woman-owned electrical company. She just had to hire 15 more people.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, and not only that, but on the spreadsheet, we gave them the name and the email and the phone number of the project manager. And a lot of time that stuff is hard to find out if you don't know the integral ways to get around all that kind of stuff, especially going on a state website.
Yeah.
So right here we have this spreadsheet, and you just contact that guy and say, hey, I'm willing to do this. And you're a DBE, you're in like Flynn, because they want to reach that goal.
Yeah.
So there's huge projects going on right now throughout the state. I can't tell you off the top of my head, but they're like $50 and $60 million
wow.
that are going on out there. So we always have a lot of big projects going on. So,
well, how long does it take from application to get certified?
we usually have the application done in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Oh, that's fast.
And providing that you have all the necessary paperwork that goes with it. So that's kind of a catch-22 because people send in and they'll just send in the application. Well, there's a plethora of paperwork that goes with it, like your 3 years of back taxes and stuff like that. So Janine just calls them. Janine's one certifier, and she just calls them and goes, oh, you might have forgot to give me this. And then once that process is completed, I mean, she gets them done within 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Which is unheard of, really, because if you do any kind of federal application, as you know, I mean, that can be 6 months to a year.
So it moves quite quickly.
Yes.
How do people learn of opportunities to bid on?
So what we did this year, which is brand new, is so we have 5 districts. So the districts are Billings, Butte, Glendive, Great Falls, and Missoula. And so we went around to all those districts, and we went out there in force and sent out emails and did all kinds of stuff to try to get all the small businesses there. And then we told them about all the opportunities. And what we did is we brought in all the EPMs, that's the project manager that are on the projects. We had them walk through everything that's expected of the person. We had our pre-bid people come in, our pre-construction people come in, our MCA, so motor carrier services people come in, what's expected. So we had everybody from all the different divisions come in, and they did their little spiel, and people could ask them about it. And then we walked them through how to find the contracts, how to look for them at MDT. And basically we sat there and did a whole entire day, 8-hour day of workshops in each project. And our incentive to get the primes there is if the prime showed up, let's say in Missoula, then we gave them 10 extra day on a project. So
that's an incentive.
That is an incentive.
That's huge, because what happens is when they don't meet the cutoff date, then they get what's called LD, liquidated damages, and that could be from anywhere from $1,500 to $15,000 a day. So if the prime showed up, because we were trying to get the primes connected with the subs, if the prime showed up, then they bid on a job and they got it, they automatically get 10 extra days. So that was the carrot that we were dangling to get the primes.
It's a really big carrot. I think even like in any project, it's like you always hope that it's done by X date, but inevitably something magically happens and it's not done on that time. So wow, that's a huge incentive.
Yeah, and they had to show up in that district too. So the prime that was in Missoula, they had to go to Glendive, and they had to go to every one of the locations. Wow. So depending on where the job is, they couldn't just show up in Missoula and then get the job up in Glasgow and get the extra days. So that gave them incentive to show up. So we're trying to give people all the knowledge that we humanly possibly can, the small businesses, to take advantage of, being an MDT.
And so I know like a website, do you guys do like newsletters or anything else that like keeps them updated, or do they just go on the website?
Yeah,
the website's really that main piece of, or where to go get new information.
I love what you guys did with the
QR code video.
QR codes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm trying to push that out there so that everything that we hand out has a QR code on it, which I think is just brilliant.
And it keeps it, I think one thing we are finding is as things change, or if you have staff changes or whatever, the most accurate information is going to be online. It's just the reality of the world that we live in. And so having it like a little card that just takes you there, then it's always updated and you don't have like the wrong information.
Exactly.
On the like print collateral.
Right. So, and it's a lot of information to take in. I'll have to say that. I mean, just our website alone, it's about reimbursements and about the personal net worth. And it's about, how to figure out your personal net worth, which a lot of people are not, in the know how to do, but it is a lot of work, and a lot of people don't understand that starting up a small business is a ton of work. Mm-hmm. Having your PR person, having your HR person, having your safety person, having your,
In some cases, that's all one person.
Yeah. It's that one guy running the business.
Yeah.
So for those listening that maybe are like, oh, I want to learn more, like I want to look at doing that, like what are some steps and tips that you have for that listener out there?
I would tell them to contact us. And before you ever fill out an application, I would give us a call because really, so there's businesses out there like Walmart and Cellular One and, Verizon and all these different Pepsi and all these different companies that you don't know about that have internal goals. A big, huge company that came and worked right here in Billings, and I think it was on the Capitol. That was like 10 years ago or something. They came in from out of Minnesota, and they had 5 internal goals. And one was women-owned goals, one was a veteran-owned goal. They were huge. So they went right to our website, and they go to our website, and they contact all those people. The other thing that we offer, too, is we have an online quote system. So when the prime gets the job, he goes into our online quote system, and he puts the quote right in there, and it automatically goes out to all our DBEs. So it's a lot like EMAC.
Oh, okay.
Right? And so they automatically get an email saying, hey, here's a job. So that's an advantage for them also. We ask everybody to go to our website, look at it, and if you have any questions, just call us.
It's a great team over at the DBE and SBE programs, and so I would just say reach out, check out their website.
So as we're talking about reaching out, what is the website? What is the number?
So the MDT website is just mdt.gov, and once you go in there, then you see a search, and you just put in DBE, and it'll take you right to our page.
And then all this information, everything, contact information is right there. Very cool.
And I would love to tell you the 1-800 number, but I just can't remember it right now.
Oh, yeah, but website. Just go to that. The 1-800 number's there for the DBE program.
Hit the website. We can always add the 1-800
search.
number.
Use the search tab.
Right.
Yes.
I could give you my work phone
Yeah.
number.
Well, Shannon, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for sharing about the DBE program and what we have going on around the state and how people can get involved. We love this program. We think it's an amazing program, and you just never know what job's going to come available to you. So definitely reach out.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Make sure you are subscribed to The Vault at 201 North Broadway, wherever you podcast, including YouTube.
Connect with us on Facebook at The Vault at 201 North Broadway and Instagram at The Vault_201.
Don't forget to visit us at thevault@201.com and subscribe to our newsletter.
We will see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you to Big Sky Economic Development for supporting The Vault at 201 North Broadway. Big Sky Economic Development provides leadership and resources for business creation, expansion, retention, new business recruitment, community development, and workforce development. Learn more at bigsky economicdevelopment.org.